Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the best parts of my week, where I share with you my favorite things to teach and my students' favorite things to learn from this week in elementary music. So if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Miss Jayna. I am an elementary music teacher. I teach kindergarten to grade 5 music. My class setup this year is kindergarten, 1-2 class, 3-4 classes, and 4-5 classes. So it's a little bit of a different combination. I plan for 4 lessons each week. So let's hop right on in with grade 5 music. In grade 5 music this week, we started our Music Around the World series journey. And my plan for that is to plop in little pieces of music from different countries into our lessons. So I'm not going to do it all in one chunk, but I'm going to spread it out over the course of the term. So we started with Japan, and we started with the song Say, Say, Say. So if you don't know the song, I will link the lyrics and the music down below, but it goes like this. Say, 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 na yoi, yoi, yoi. Oh chalaka, oh chalaka, oh chalaka, hoi. So we learned the song by rote, and then I had the students guess where the song was from, and it was very interesting to hear their guesses and hear why they thought it was from those different places. I then told them that it was from Japan, and they were quite impressed that we could now sing in Japanese. And then we talked about Japan and where it is and some of the symbols from Japan. And once we had that all covered, we then added the game into Say, Say, Say. So Say, 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 the game is a rock, paper, scissors game. So the first time we played it, I had the students just play against me. So we went like this, and we went, say, 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 na yoi, yoi, yoi. Oh chalaka, oh chalaka, oh chalaka, hoi. And then they showed me either rock, paper, or scissors. If they won against me, they celebrated. If they lost against me, they took a bow. And if we tied, we went across as if we're equal. Once we had practiced against me and practiced showing that rock, paper, scissors on the hoi, I then let them choose partners. One trick that I do for choosing partners is I say, if you don't have a partner, put your hand up high and look for someone else who has their hand up. This helps the kids figure themselves out, and then also can help me know who doesn't need a partner, so I can kind of direct the partners together. We did about 5 rounds with partners the first time that we played, and the kids had a ton of fun with it. They really enjoyed it. They were engaged. They were singing, which with my 4-5s right now is, I'll take it. I'll take it. Whatever gets them singing is an extra win in my books. What I really liked about this game is it worked with COVID, just how the game is. The kids picked their partners. They stood socially distanced from their partners. They didn't have to touch anything. They didn't have to share anything. I didn't have to sanitize anything after. So that part of it was great. And also, what kid doesn't like playing rock, paper, scissors? Most of them, actually no, all of my 4-5s knew how to play rock, paper, scissors, so there wasn't much teaching going on there. And it was also a great activity to use for my students with exceptionalities, because they also know how to play rock, paper, scissors. And if they didn't know how to play rock, paper, scissors, they were able to catch on to it pretty quickly, and they could just do the activity like all of the other kids in my class with no adaptations, not having to differentiate. They just did it with the rest of them. So that was great for those kids as well. So highly, highly recommend Say, 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 not only if you are doing some Japanese music in your classroom, but even just as a fun activity. My kids are requesting it in their choice time because they really, really, really enjoy it. So highly, highly recommend that one. All right, after that, we move on to 3 and 4 music, and we are still working on So Me in 3 and 4 music. And this week, we practiced Notating So Me. So we used the song Starlight, Star Bright, and we sang the song, and then we played it on glockenspiels. And then I made these little composition sheets for Starlight, Star Bright, and I gave the kids stickers to use to notate it with. And I used the color coding label stickers for it. So I had the bigger size, which I used for the quarter notes, and then the smaller size, they used 2 of them for eighth notes. And then as I sang the song, they put the stickers on the paper to represent the melody of the song, the melody and the rhythm of the song. We did this kind of as a class, but I gave time before we did it as a class. So I would sing the phrase and then the students would notate it, and I walked around as they were doing it and I checked on who was able to do it completely independent. And then when we went and I did it on the board, I also made note of who waited for me to do it. So that tells me one of my students are doing it, know it, and can do it by themselves. And there were some that were like done it before I was even finished the second phrase. So no problems there. And then it also let me know which students still need support in this. And so that told me that we need to still do some practicing, which is perfectly fine. And then what we did with this, so the students laid the stickers on, and then I had them label the So and Me. And then we took it back to the glockenspiels, and I had them practice reading the music and playing the instruments. I said last week in my video that was something we were working on, something that was a bit of a stretch for them right now. So we did that again, following the music, playing the instruments. And it was pretty easy for them because we had done it so many times, just like follow me, echo me, that they knew it, that they really didn't need to refer to the music, but it was a good way to make them feel successful in playing the music and looking at the music and putting all of those steps together. All right, next we move on to grade 1 and 2 music. And in grade 1 and 2 music, we are just wrapping up our apple theme. And in our apple theme, we did lots of different songs and books. Some that we did were Way Up High in the Apple Tree. We read the book The Biggest Apple Ever. We sang the song Apple Tree, Apple Tree. We did the book that's a song, The Apples on the Tree, lots of different Apple things. Oh, and we played the interactive game that I have for Apple Rhythms, which is in my TPT shop. I will link that down below. And then we ended it off by doing the game with Apple Tree, Apple Tree. Now, if you don't know the folk song Apple Tree, that is also in my TPT shop, which I will link down below. And so first we learned the song, and the song goes like this. Apple tree, will your apples fall on me? I won't cry, I won't pout, if your apple knocks me out. So we practiced the song, and then we added the game in. Now, how this game would work in a non-COVID classroom is you would have 2 circles that essentially work like gears and mix around each other. How I did it is I had 1 circle that was socially distanced, and they were the apple tree. So they stood up with their hands up, and they were the apple tree. Then I had a line, which I called the walker line, which weaved in and out of the circle. So they would go in between 2 kids and out between 2 kids as we sang the song. So they ended up walking in a circle, but they were socially distanced in a circle. And no one was holding hands or anything like that, which is how you're supposed to play the game. So how the game worked is when, on the word out, the apple tree kids, so the kids standing in the circle, would put their hands down to trap people, the walkers, in the apple tree. So if you got trapped in the apple tree, you then became a part of the apple tree. Some things that I learned very quickly while doing this activity was that I needed to make sure that the kids walked to the beat of the music so that they were out when they were supposed to be out. When we first did it, the first few times, I would have kids either stop before they got into the apple tree if they thought they were going to be out, or I would have kids run through if they were already in and thought they were going to be out. So we talked about and we practiced, okay, this is how we walk to the beat of the song. The other thing I didn't think would be an issue, but I should have seen it coming, was that I had to make sure that the kids knew that this wasn't like, if they're in the apple tree, you don't grab them and bring them to the apple tree. You just put your hands down, they're out, and they're part of the apple tree. There is no reason to touch anyone coming into the apple tree. But this was a big, big hit in my classroom. It was interesting to see the kids that wanted to be the tree, that wanted to be the walkers, but a huge hit, and it got lots of singing repetition in. In 1 and 2, we were working on our singing voices still. So it was a good way to sneak in lots of singing repetition on an easy song that they enjoyed. And now we go to kindergarten. And in kindergarten music, we are talking all about our singing voice and practicing using our singing voice. So we've been doing lots of like songs that we sing together and activities like vocal explorations. And this week I brought out a very special friend named Hoot the Owl. And whenever I bring out Hoot the Owl, I always make such a big deal out of it with my kids, because I say, okay, Miss Jayna loves owls, and she has a very, very special owl that she brings to music class, and the owl's name is Hoot. Now, Hoot has very, very sensitive ears, and Hoot only likes to listen to singing voices. But if you use a singing voice, Hoot will do a trick for you. So then they get all excited. I'm like, okay, let's see Hoot do some tricks. So follow me. And then I teach them the song, Hoot, Hoot, do a trick. And then Hoot will do something. And then I said, okay, who can do lots of tricks? Let's get him to jump. Hoot, Hoot, jump up high. And Hoot will jump. And then I say to the kids, okay, but remember, Hoot only does it if we do a singing voice. So if I say, Hoot, Hoot, jump up high, and I just speak it, he doesn't do anything. But listen, if I sing it, Hoot, Hoot, jump up high, then he'll do it. If I sing, Hoot, Hoot, do a flip, he'll do a flip. So then the kids are so excited, most excited they've ever been. And then they're coming up with ways that Hoot can move, and Hoot can do tricks, and Hoot can go to sleep, and is a great way to get that singing voice repetition in. I teach 2 kindergarten classes. One of my classes caught onto it super quick and were using their singing voices independently, and we weren't doing it as a class, they were doing it independently. And then my other kindergarten class, it took a little bit longer for them to be comfortable and to use their singing voices independently. So for the first little bit, someone would say, just say jump, and I'd say, okay, but we have to sing it. So we all sing it together. Hoot, hoot, jump up high. I got this idea originally from Denise Gagne, who does it with Melody the elephant, but I love elephants. And then we eventually moved to the song Who Is Here as a singing activity that the kids also, which is also with an owl. So that's why I use owls with that. But the kids are a fan. So even like Hoot will be sitting on my piano in my classroom, and they'll be like, is Hoot listening to this? I'm like, yeah. Hoot's wanting to see the best singing voices ever in music class. I didn't ever teach singing last year to my grade 1s, like last year's kindergartens, because we couldn't sing. So all of this is a little bit newer to me. It's not tried as much. I'm kind of doing it, figuring it out as I go. So if you have any ideas for teaching singing voices to kindergarten kids, I would love, love, love to know what they are. So that is all for this week's episode of The Best Part of My Week. I hope that some of my favorite lessons and my students' favorite lessons gave you ideas of what you can do in your classroom. If you like this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share so that you get notified when videos like this come out, and so that other people can see the videos and get notified that the videos are out. I would love to hear what the best part of your week is. I'm always looking for new ideas. So leave those in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.